Season 3 is here, and the general opinion of the state of the game seems to be better. There has been significant improvements in game performance as well as an overhaul to the vehicle classification system that allows a more balanced gameplay. So instead of grouping a wide range of armored cars and tanks together in a category, it is back to a similar system like in Battlefield 4, where there are specific vehicles that can be spawned. This is great, and I applaud DICE for listening and making these changes. But here is where things start to go downhill for me. With Season 3 comes new content, which is a new map, Spearhead, a few new guns and a specialist, as well as a new tank. All of which, except for the railgun and the railgun tank, seem to be fine with me. The railgun itself suffers from the same problem I'm going to discuss about regarding the tank, but in this video I am going to focus on the tank itself. And this is by far one of the most overpowered tank in the history of Battlefield franchise, in the right situation. But at the same time, it is also one of the worst, both as a vehicle and for the game. And let me explain. This tank has one of the fastest muzzle velocity in the history of Battlefield, and while it is not exactly hit scan, it is very close to it. This makes it extremely easy to hit stationary targets from really far away, basically cross map. There is no difficulty to it, there is no drop to calculate, you just hold down the button and there you go. As for moving targets, as long as they are not very close to you, there is not much issue as well, which I also will explain later. The fast muzzle velocity allows you to one-shot all the choppers and planes except for the transports like the Hind and the Condor, which only take 2. And while you can one-shot with the regular tank, it is much harder to do because of its much slower projectile speed and the much greater drop. For the new tank, it is point and click. The turret slowdown problem can be mitigated by going into siege mode, which increases both the charging speed and the rate of fire. This makes shooting air targets even easier, and for this reason, it easily becomes one of the most overpowered anti-vehicle tank of all time. On the receiving end, there is no warning. You can be in your spawn and just get shot down almost immediately. And of course, DICE has to think of some way to balance the vehicle. The difficulty comes with very fast moving targets, especially when they are close. Because the turret slows down when you start charging up, you do have to pre-aim targets. The extremely slow turret speed while charging up means that if any vehicle comes close to you and are not completely oblivious, you are almost guaranteed death. Most of the time you probably wouldn't even be able to get a shot off. The main gun also has virtually no splash damage, which makes you completely dependent on your gunner and your coaxial MG. So one may suggest, well then, so it is not that overpowered after all. It is great at one thing and it's terrible at another, and to a certain extent, I do agree with this sentiment. It is not omnipotent, but it is, in my humble opinion, a complete disaster of a vehicle that should not have been in the franchise. It is the epitome of anti-PTFO gameplay that DICE has always wanted to get away from. It is fundamentally the opposite of the philosophy of their game design and what players want. PTFO has been a great part of Battlefield, and there are so many incentives in the game to get people moving around the map to capture and recapture objectives. This is a constant tug of war between the two teams that make game modes like Conquest, Breakthrough, and Frontlines fun. What this railgun tank and also the new infantry railgun do is to encourage ultra long range camping. For those who played Battlefield 5, this railgun tank is the vehicle version of the boys AT rifle. The main gun itself allows you to hit enemies from extreme distances with ease. This pairs with an extreme incompetence of close quarter combat. This combination is a perfect recipe for hilltop campers, who never contribute to direct objective play that almost everyone hates. I for one, almost feel disgusted at myself when I was using this tank. In Breakthrough mode, this tank was borderline useless because it was only ever good against vehicles, and the enemies typically don't have many due to the 64 player count. So you just end up sitting at the back of the map doing nothing. And in Conquest mode, where this tank shines a bit more because of the sheer number of enemy vehicles, the meta play is to sit on a hill somewhere with great vantage point and to just snipe at everything on the map without ever getting close to any objectives. I wish this tank never existed, but now, since the vehicle is already in the game, there is no taking it away. While it is not optimal, I have a few suggestions that may make this vehicle fit in the game a little more. It is to give it incentive to be close to the action, where the driver would want to take risks while allowing the enemies opportunities to destroy it. It can be achieved by greatly reducing its muzzle velocity, making it much harder to snipe vehicles across the map. The main gun needs to have a slight increase in splash damage to the level or slightly under the MPAT shells on the other MBT. The turret slowdown also needs to be removed or drastically decreased to allow it more freedom in close range combats. This would make this tank a viable choice to choose from compared to the M1 or the T28. But that's it for this video. Let me know what you think. Do you like the new tank and what it adds to the gameplay? Or do you think this should never have been in the game? And as always, feel free to like or dislike. Cheers!